says, please start the preview player to accurately sync your stream. Okay, there we go.
You just have to finagle with it too
Yeah, I
much.
know. You got to like click it and click it again and click it again. All right, we are live officially for 5 seconds. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Linux Tech and Gaming crew coming back at you. It's Wednesday night at 7 p.m., and we have an awesome show planned for you guys. You are in for a real treat tonight. Osiris, Atomic, how have you guys been?
Just existing.
Just taking up carbon space.
Yes.
Okay, Osiris,
That
you?
sounds that sounds like a good answer.
An
I'm gonna go with
accurate
that one.
description?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go with I've been doing fantiddlyastic
You would.
because I have been. I've been super busy and swamped, and at the same time, still trying to game and have fun. And we had a blast last Sunday doing the Sunday Fun Days with Atomic and Osiris. Excuse me. We do that every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. until noon, and we have a fun time playing with viewers, playing with other gamers. Osiris has been active on his. He's got some. He streamed last night, and Atomic has got some videos going up on YouTube, and I've been pushing live streams to Ubuntu Addicted's YouTube channel, and we've all kind of been busy, and the website's it's actually still under a little bit of work. We still aren't quite there yet with the maintenance free part. Just with the simple fact of the things that we're utilizing to get our podcast, audio and video archived up there for everybody to download. There's just a few little kinks that we're still working out, but it's something that's progressing, and we're getting there. And I think we have a pretty decent sized community now already on Steam. Our Steam group is Linux Tech and Gaming. We have, I will just estimate, 60 members. And, we're having a good time. So why don't we get right into the first topic? And I did want to mention the new hashtag. If you do mention the Linux Tech and Gaming crew and you want to just, hashtag them, the new tag is different. We used to use Linux TAG, but we had found that there was an organization over in Europe that they're already proponents of open source, and they're a different organization. So we basically created a new hashtag. So if you do want to use, if you want to hashtag and talk about our website or mention us or get our attention, the new hashtag is Linux T and G, and the word "and" is spelled out. So that's our new hashtag. We do have the IRC channel. I'm not looking at, let's see, the stream. We don't have the information for the IRC channel in the lower left corner, but I think Atomic might be adding that as we speak. It is # Linux Tech and Gaming on irc.freenode.net. If you really wanted to communicate with, anybody that's in that IRC channel, you could do that in there instead of, because we're on 3 different websites right now. We're on YouTube, we're on Hitbox, and we're on Twitch, because that's how we roll. And tonight, Atomic is driving, actually. Usually I drive, and I'm the center hub, but Osiris wanted to give it a try, so
Was that a .com or .org or Freenode?
Freenode is .net,
Yes.
irc.freenode.net. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's in almost every in almost every IRC client that I'm aware of, Freenode is a default like server choice. So I don't even think you have to know the actual server's like server. You just like double click Freenode, and then when you join it, the easiest way is to just go to linuxtechandgaming.com/live, and if you scroll down, you'll see that there's a way to log on to the IRC channel right there on our website with a little a Kiwi plugin for connecting to IRC, if you so choose to do that. So Otherwise, you're perfectly fine sitting in YouTube's chat, or sitting in Twitch's chat, or sitting in Hitbox chat. That's up to you. But enough babbling. Let's get into the first segment, and it's usually Atomic shares a Linux game with us. What do you got for us this week, Atomic?
Well, this week I have Sir, You Are Being Hunted. And, of course, this decides to be... There we go. Yes. Sir, You Are Being Hunted. This is a stealth survival game, and it says with tea and biscuits. The premise here is that you are a scientist, and something has gone wrong with a device that you were working on, and it's thrown you onto this island. And this island is inhabited with robots. And these robots want to kill you. Well,
Yeah.
the device that brought you there, you have to reconstruct it to get back home, and it spread dozens of pieces of it all over this archipelago. So yeah.
Huh. And how, I know that you had played it, when it first came out, and I don't know if you created a few YouTube videos of it. I think you did, right?
Yes, and that was when it was in an alpha state, and I think it's since gone to full release. So I need to do a new video of it.
Okay, did you take a peek at the release notes or whatever?
No, I did not.
Okay, yeah, I'd just be curious to find out what they, as I do recall you saying there was a recent update to it, to see if they listened to the Linux community at all, and, made any changes to the, anything. Are you getting sound on your Flash player in Steam or no?
Yes, I am, actually.
Oh, okay.
It was a little loud to begin with.
Right, right. I can't hear it because these speakers on the computer I'm viewing the stream back on are crap. But anyway, so...
But you can
I was going to ask, how are does it have controller support?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
They may have added that. Let's take a look. Partial controller support.
Okay.
So that means kinda eh.
I wonder what that means. Yeah, right. Kinda eh.
Yeah.
Right.
But they have added some things since I have played it, like the landowner you can see in this picture. He was not there when I played it. But when I played this, you could do the stealth option if you wanted to. Or you could just go through and blast every robot you see.
Yeah. Because I think that's the point of the game, right? It's kind of a stealth type game.
Yes.
So that the NPC doesn't see you or whatever.
Right. Now, the area that you are looking for these pieces of the device on, there's a central island, and then there's one for each point of the compass. And it's procedurally generated. I neglected to mention that. You can actually change the seed for each island.
Oh, that is kind of neat. Kind of like in Minecraft.
Kind of like that. You have a castle biome, you have a warehousing biome, you have a countryside biome. And
sure.
The general theme is British countryside throughout. The robots that are trying to kill you have British accents, as does the narrator.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And they're
How
wearing
smart? How smart are the NPC?
reasonably smart, but they can still be fooled.
Okay, sure.
I mean, you saw the character hitting the tuba
Yeah.
in front of the bear trap, but
Yeah. Yep. Okay. It looks like, when I saw the game, it just the graphics alone and kind of the the idea behind it looked appealing. Um, I never ended up picking it up because I thought I read mixed reviews on it and whatnot. So, how much is it right now? Does it say? It
the
should say.
the regular
I got
price
it
is
six.
$20. But I think I picked this up for 50% off when I originally bought it. And
Sure, during a sale.
yeah, of course, me being cheap, I would always recommend getting things on sale, but it's not a bad deal even at $20.
Yeah.
And
Is there what type of graphics card did you play it on? Your 750 Ti, right? With an
yes,
NVIDIA proprietary driver?
yes.
Okay.
I've also played on Intel, uh, on the Sandy Bridge era Intel, and that was kind of a chore. It worked, but not terribly well. But on modern Intel, you could probably get some playable frame rates.
Sure. Okay. All right. Sweet. Have you checked this out yet, Osiris?
Negative.
You ought to.
Negative. Yeah, I think I do one. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I have so many games that I just don't have time to like play hardly any of them, let alone buying a new game. I mean, just recently they had that Encore sale. I swear I spent like $150 or something ridiculous. I bought all these games and I haven't even touched one of them yet because where we play like Team Fortress 2 and I play Minecraft and then I play Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. I mean, so I'm like playing a half a dozen games and I just don't have time to buy more. So it's definitely a title that I want to get. I just am not in no rush to get it because it's hopefully only going to get cheaper as time goes on, or there'll be another during the spring sale. If I really want to pick it up, I'll get it then or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up, sir. You are being hunted. There you have it from the horse's mouth. I'm sorry, the ass's mouth. Atomic. You are recommending the game for
Oh,
twenty
definitely.
dollars. Obviously, you prefer to go a sale price. $10 would probably just make it that much better. But
Definitely.
anyway, yeah, check it out.
And I did just read that they have worked on controller support as recently as November.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay,
so yeah, they've
good
probably
deal.
been working on this. And they have been committed to Linux because this has been on Linux since it was in early access a year and a half ago when I bought it.
Yeah. Huh. Cool beans. There you go. There you go, folks. If you're looking for another title to pick up and you're a native Linux gamer and you want you know, you said that you can play it either way, whether you are playing it stealth and hiding yourself and whatnot and slowly sneaking up, or you can just straight up blast them. How long do you live if you straight up just, don't utilize stealth at all?
Um, it
Or,
depends if you get shot or not, and whether you have
well, right,
bandages.
right. Okay, it's one of those. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure. I remember Metro Last Light being really difficult for me anyway.
hunger is a
Uh,
thing also. You
oh, wow, sure.
if you sprint, you use up your stamina, and if you lose all of your stamina, your health starts dropping.
Okay.
And you regenerate health if your stamina is above 50%. So if you get shot and maybe you're not bleeding, which is possible if you don't get shot directly. Then, yeah, you can heal up eventually.
Yeah. All right. Sweet. So, what that'll pretty much wrap up our first little segment there. Atomic going through his Linux game of the week. And let's get right into our first topic. And well, Atomic still got the mic. This is your link here, Atomic. What do you got for us?
Okay, so people who, those of you who have played RPG Maker games, you know what RPG Maker is, so I don't even need to explain it to you. But there is now an open source engine for it, and you can directly take the games to this open source engine, and several notable games have been ported to Linux and are even available on Steam. To the Moon, A Bird Story, and the third one's a big title, but it escapes me right now. But it is actively being used, and it is even seeing some interest from Enterbrain, which is the creators of the RPG Maker suite. Have either of you ever played an RPG Maker game?
If I did, I wouldn't know it. So
Yeah, I'm with Osiris there. I wouldn't know it if I did either.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
If you've ever played an NES level RPG on the Windows platform, it is almost certainly made with RPG Maker. RPG Maker occupies the space for pixel RPG games that Unity does for 3D first-person shooters. It's an engine that backs a lot of games, and it has a lot of built-in assets. But unlike Unity, the assets are actually usable.
Oh, okay.
Some people have made entire games with just the default assets, and they look fantastic for a 2D RPG.
Yeah,
Pixel RPG. They don't skimp on their catalog, and they've kept increasing it with each new version of RPG Maker.
Right. So, is RPG Maker? That's I maybe missed you saying this, but is that that's a developing tool to create a game? And is it's Linux or is it Windows?
It's Windows only.
Okay.
But it doesn't. It sets the bar pretty low. You can focus on the game rather than programming. You don't even have to have any programming knowledge to put out a game in RPG Maker. You're basically just writing the script, and it handles all of the rest of it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But
that is interesting news.
If this catches on, we're going to see a whole lot more of actually good games. I have not seen many bad games made with RPG Maker. So we're going to see a lot of good games come to Linux if that takes hold.
Nice. Yeah. Always something. Always sometimes monsters, Bird Story, and To the Moon.
That was it.
Those are all three.
Monsters.
Those are all three of those are available on Steam right now, and those were made with RPG Maker, is what you're getting at.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. All right. Well, moving on to our next topic, we actually have been putting this off for several months now, because every week we end up finding other topics that we want to share with you guys and just bumping this topic to the next week. So we're finally going to get down to the brass tacks and share our gaming rigs with each of you. We'll, we thought that that would be something you'd be interested in. So hopefully you are. And if you're not, tough. You're going to listen anyway. So what we got here, we'll let Atomic just continue on with the mic and tell us your gaming setup, Atomic. And I would say just, I don't know if you're going to go into your whole weird monitor setup. I don't think that's necessary. I would say just like the main gaming rig that you game on. And yeah, that's about it. So what do you got? What do you got there?
I have a Core i7 4790K, and that's the highest end consumer grade processor that Intel has put out for the desktop space right now. It's cooled inadequately by the Corsair H55.
What? He says cooled inadequately.
I mean that.
What? Well, then why'd you go with the Corsair H whatever you said?
I bought that a long time before I bought the...
Oh, it's the H55. Okay, that's old as hell, eh?
Well, it being old isn't really an issue. But
okay.
It's a 120 millimeter cooler that's only 27 millimeters thick. So it's got a limited amount of cooling capacity. And there are utilities, unfortunately not in Linux, that will tell you how much an Intel processor is consuming, wattage-wise.
Yeah.
The 4790K at its turbo frequency consumes over 130 watts on an 88-watt TDP. Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I put that on top of an ASRock Z97 Extreme 6, and I chose this particular motherboard for VTD support because the 4790K is actually the first K processor to support VTD, which allows you to run bare metal
VMs, yeah.
Right.
I think, yeah.
And I was going to try and set up a VGA pass-through with a second graphics card. I haven't gotten around to that yet, but someday.
Yeah, I like how you said you're going to try it. It's because it's definitely not. I mean, at least in the Linux space or arena, I don't know how. When I tried KVM and QME, it was not very fun. I'll put it that way. So I think that's one area that Windows might excel in is, with their VMware or whatever, Essex or ESXi, however you pronounce that, for virtualizing hardware with true pass-through, VirtualBox in Linux can pass through like USB ports and USB hardware that's connected, but unless your motherboard and CPU supports it, you're not getting true hardware pass-through like what Atomic is attempting to try to do. And the benefit of that is to get the VGA or the graphics card passed through to the virtual machine, so that he could potentially be running Windows potentially or whatever he chose in a virtual machine and have true graphics pass through, right? Atomic, is that the general gist of it? Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. Yep.
Now I'm also running 32 gigs of DDR3 1866 memory. I was running 16 gigs, and believe it or not, I kept running out of memory.
Only you, with your 64 tabs open on a light day. Normally it's like 100 something.
Yeah, I don't know, 1,000, a million.
Oh, geez, yeah, right.
and just so you know, if you're looking at the PC part picker list I've got on screen, Only the things that are marked as purchased I actually have in the system right now. I have some want to buy stuff on there,
Okay. Yeah.
like a $350 SSD, which I don't have.
Is that the Samsung 850 or 840?
That's actually a SanDisk Ultra 2, 960
Oh.
gig.
Oh, all fancy and shit.
Yeah.
All right.
And some of these parts are actually old. I have a Western Digital Scorpio Blue 1 terabyte laptop hard drive. And that
Yeah.
actually came out of my laptop, and it's been in use now for 3.5 years.
Wow.
Still chugging along.
Right? I know. I have some old hardware that has just been repurposed for since 10 years ago, whatever. It's crazy how, if you take care of your stuff and whatever. I mean, yeah, it's crazy how long hardware really can last. And then, on the flip side of that, how you can get a platter drive straight from Newegg or a brand new drive, and all of a sudden it goes to crap. I mean, obviously, there are such things as bad hardware. And this actually, just to segue into this quick story here, is something that people need to always keep in mind if they're having weird issues on their desktop, whether it's in Linux or Windows or OS X or whatever. It's not always a software issue. It might not be pulse audio crashing, or it might not be something going haywire in the software in the operating system. It might be a hardware level issue, whether it's bad memory module, bad RAM, or I don't know, maybe you didn't quite seat the PCI PCI Express graphics card like all the way or something, and there's like not the best contact at the back end of the bus, or who knows. But that's just something to always keep in mind, is that hardware it can have issues. It's not always perfect, and it is what it is. So
Yep.
all right, so that's that. And then
My video
you
card
got your video card. Yep.
is an EVGA GTX 750 Ti. This is a For the Win edition with the ACX cooler, 2 fans, and I can really only recommend that if it's cheaper than the non For the Win edition with
Yeah.
the single fan. It just
Right.
it doesn't perform any better. It
Ah.
can't.
Okay.
Eventually, I'm going to be moving into a Corsair Air 540 behind me here with the cracked window. Thank you,
gotta return that
UPS.
yet? Yeah. Oh yeah, you decided to keep it though, right? And you're just going to replace the window yourself?
I'm not
Are
certain
you
of that yet.
Not certain yet? Okay, sure.
I've only
Gotcha.
just heard back from the place I bought it from.
Ah.
But let's see, I'm currently sitting in a Antec 302. And I'm not terribly happy with that case. Just, it doesn't have any mounts in the front for a radiator, and it only has a 120 in the rear and 140 in the roof. So it's a little for water cooling.
Yeah.
I've got a Corsair AX760 80 plus platinum power supply. And then I got junk monitors right now. I got an Asus VS229H, which is an IPS 1080p monitor, 22 inches, and a 14 millisecond response time.
Yeah, we were just talking about all that last night.
Why is that
Yeah.
a thing? But then I got,
Yeah.
I've also got a Dell something or other that's a 1366 768 and a 10-year-old Westinghouse. I swear it's got vacuum tubes in it.
Right.
So I have some monitor purchases lined up. And then to round it out, I'm running a Corsair K65 and M65 for my keyboard and mouse.
Very nice. Very nice. That
If you got PC
that's a
part picker
decent
lists, I'll
that's
put.
a decent build right there. I think that that gets her done for everything that you want to do. You know, you do your video editing and your gaming, and besides your monitor, you're pretty happy with your components, aren't you?
Yeah, I did a Linus Tech Tips torture test.
Okay.
Uh, the prosumer torture test, where he rendered a video, played a game, and streamed all at the same time, just to see how my processor stacks up against the 6 and 8 core X99 stuff. And I didn't do too bad. My video render was about 2 hours long, which is to be expected. But I did not drop any frames the entire stream, which was about an hour and a half long.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. You want to go, Osiris?
Or let's see here for the CPU.
Well, don't sound too excited, man.
Intel i5 3570K, and for the GPU, we have an EVGA. I don't know which EVGA, an EVGA GTX 780. What is this? XFX Pro 650 watts power supply, which is OEM'd by Seasonic, because that's the only power supply anybody should ever buy. And a SSD is Samsung 840, the black and orange one. I'm not sure if it's Pro or not. I don't think it's Pro. And right now I'm using a Cooler Master Hyper 212 for the cooler. Some random hard drives I found around the house.
In a dumpster.
And a bunch of fans everywhere. Lots of fans.
All the fans.
Corsair, most of them are Corsair SF and SP 120s. And then it's all neatly tucked inside of the Define fractal design
R4.
Define R4. I don't like the way it's fractal design Define R4. That's a weird way to.
It's just designed to tongue tie you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
I didn't think I knew you had the R4. Huh. Awesome.
Yeah, basically Logitech peripherals, because that's. And down to 2 monitors because one died.
No.
Oh no.
100 random peripherals. M audio for the sound, audio interface, the Mobile Pre Mark II. 2 sets of mobile M audio studio monitors. Corsair, the Corsair desktop speakers, not the. What are the name of those ones? I don't remember. The 2100s. The Corsair makes a really good set of desktop speakers, but they're like $300-400. These are the $150 ones.
Huh. All right.
And then for the motherboard, it's an ASRock Z77 Extreme 4. That should.
All right. And how are you liking your? I know we've personally or privately all discussed like upgrades and all that. What's your
We're waiting on Intel to send us a
Right.
trio of 5960Xs.
Right, yeah. What's your opinion on your next upgrade purchase, Osiris, or can you even speculate at this point? Are you thinking Broadwell? Are you thinking Skylake?
Not till I see something worth upgrading to.
Right, right.
Well, Broadwell isn't going to be on the desktop.
Well, right, that's true. Good point. It'll be for like micro HTPCs and mobile and stuff like that.
Hardware right now is just really uninteresting.
What?
But you got to remember, you're like a prosumer. You're a tough, cookie to please or whatever. You're the exception. You're one of the exceptions, I should say.
I mean, there's just nothing that just stands out and it's like, yes, you must have this now. There's no reason for me to upgrade my CPU. There's no reason for me to upgrade my GPU.
But don't you want that DDR4, bro?
Yeah, right. It's exactly the same as DDR3. Oh, thank you.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will say though, maybe hardware is not that interesting, but peripherals are getting pretty interesting, and by peripherals that includes everything like microphones, monitor stands, monitors, keyboards, all kinds of stuff out there. Especially since CES just ended, DDC will be coming up.
Yeah, Game Developers Conference. Yeah, we got that as a topic down the way here.
Uh,
We can cover that. Let me just are we done?
so there's plenty of things to look at besides upgrading your hardware yearly to get that
Right.
0.05 percent upgrade.
Oh man, you are like the most pessimistic person for upgrades. I mean, not pessimistic. Let me rephrase. Most realist person as far as computer upgrades. You know, that's your preference. Some people, you know, have the money or the budget, and maybe they don't care that it's only a 0.05 gigahertz upgrade increase, or maybe they can render their video 1 minute faster. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they get 10 more frames per second, but I don't know. Obviously, every person has their own preference of whether they want. You know, don't you personally probably get excited? Maybe you don't. Maybe you're the. I get excited building a computer. I get excited even putting together an old computer that's 10-year-old hardware.
Building a computer and buying new hardware for that benchmark score is two different things.
Sure,
like,
sure.
Like my GPU is roughly the same as this 970. I don't see no reason to buy a 980 for Linux right now. If there was a good reason for me to buy it, I would probably buy it. I just don't see a reason to buy it. So as games roll out more and more, then like they say, software drives hardware, hardware drives software.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens when the software gets here.
Right. I know I did happen to read an article about Maxwell 2.0, and the 980 is still only just Maxwell chipset 1.0 or Maxwell architecture 1.0 or whatever. But I thought I read that Maxwell 2.0 is going to have H.265 encoder chip built right into it, just like Kepler has the H.264, built right into it, so you can utilize your GPU for hardware encoding and decoding. I mean, obviously the 980 has the H.264 decoding and encoding on it as well, but supposedly I thought I read Maxwell, 2 is going to have the H.265 encoding in it, and that's like a whole new freaking ball game, which is going to be really exciting. But there's no content yet of 4K except for House of Cards on Netflix. And I don't Netflix, bro. I get my video content from other locations.
Of course, if you're going to get a graphics card today, you have to spend at least 2 paychecks.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you got to spend that $800 or $900.
For me, it's only $700.
Okay. All right. Well, I can let's go over my gaming rig here. And mine was just built in 2014, around the January timeframe ish, maybe even. I think I was buying components I think I bought a component during Black Friday of 2013. So I actually bought my components over months. So those of you people that are interested in building a new computer, but you don't have that $800 that you need, that's okay. Buy a component at a time, put it in the closet and don't look at it. And then when you see that SSD go on sale, snatch that up, put it in the closet and wait for the next component. That's what I did. I just waited and got each of the components that I wanted. And so here's my build. I have an Intel i5 4670K overclocked to 4.3 gigahertz, cooled with a Cooler Master Sidon 120V.
Do you have a PC part picker I can put on screen?
I do. I thought I put the link in the yeah, I'll get you the link. Let's see here. This is going to be difficult probably. I don't know. The audio is good as far as I'm concerned. We are getting reports from the viewers that it's out of sync, but I don't know if OBS reintroduced some desyncing issues with recent commits, or I don't know any of that, so who knows. So you just go to what, saved parts list or completed builds? Because I actually created a completed build and I have pictures and everything.
You can link me to the completed build. I'll put it up on screen.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, we'll do that. Here you go. So i5 4670 K overclocked to 4.3. That's cooled with the Cooler Master Sidon 120V. And then I have the that's sitting on an MSI Z87 G41 PC Mate. And I originally I got this G-Skill Sniper RAM, just a 8 gig kit, which is 2 4 gigs, and it was DDR3 2133. I got that from a friend. It was used RAM, but I got it for super affordable, like really affordable, like half the price basically. And then later on, I bought another 8 gig kit, so another 2 4 gig sticks. That was 1866 G-Skill Sniper RAM. So now I'm running 16 gig of DDR3 1866 RAM. Then I have the...
You see, I told you Chromium was contagious.
Yeah, right. Chrome, yeah. I'm running the EVGA GeForce GTX 760 2 gig super clocked. It's got the ACX cooler. It does have a dual BIOS on it, so if I wanted to flash another BIOS, and then if it didn't work, the flashing didn't work, I can always flip a physical switch and boot it to another BIOS, so I can at least get my desktop back or whatever. That is all powered by the bare minimum Corsair 500, a CX 500 watt power supply. Which, thinking back on it now, I wish I would have gone modular, because my case is the worst case to get if you're concerned about cable management. It is the Cooler Master Elite 431 Plus. So I don't recommend that at all to anyone if you're concerned about cable management, even in the slightest. There's just no room behind the motherboard. There's no areas to route the cables to kind of put it back there and then bring it back. There's just nothing. Like, they didn't care about cable management in this box. And it's a budget box, so I shouldn't expect cable management to be a consideration in a $40 or $35 case. But moving on, we have I actually won the SteelSeries Sensei Raw mouse. I won it on Twitter. It was used and it had a few little scratches or whatever, but I mean, I'm loving the mouse. Like I said, it was free. It's a $100 mouse or $80 mouse. It's got the little logo there the color is orange right now because of, I like orange with Ubuntu, and that's my base, one of my colors of my logo. But also the bottom, you can see there, it's got a tiny LCD screen. And it actually says Ubu the Tech Guru on the LCD screen. Because reasons, I can do that.
That branding, though.
Yeah, exactly. So then we have, for the keyboard, I actually just finally bought a mechanical keyboard at the advice of Osiris. And it is the Thermaltech TT Sports, the Poseidon Z, the Poseidon Z. And it's not really budget, but it's one of the more affordable mechanical keyboards, only because it doesn't have true Cherry MX switches. It has the Khalil switches, and to a person like me who is coming from just rubber top or rubber dome or whatever keyboard, this is fine for me. The Khalil switches seem to be fine, and I love the keyboard. I love typing on this thing, and it's great. The only thing I have yet to do is put the rubber seals or rubber gaskets in there at the advice of Atomic. If I didn't want it, feel basically the key bottoming out at the bottom. You can supposedly get these little rubber rings and put them at the base of each key. But then I have for my sound, I have a Logitech Z323 30-watt 2.1 channel system. So it's just got two little tweeters and a sub. I don't know. I think it's an 8-inch sub or 6-inch sub. It basically it's enough for what I do. I'm not a sound whore by any means. I'm not an audiophile. I'm none of that in any regard at all. So this is enough to where I can crank it up and jam out, to my favorite Eric Clapton song or whatever I so choose.
Careful now, you're showing your age.
Right, exactly. I think everybody knows I'm an old man, so whatever. And then for the displays, we got two ASUS panels. I have a 21 and a half inch, 2 millisecond, 1080p panel. It's the VX228H. Then I have a steal of a deal from a pawn shop, the Asus VX238H, which is a 23-inch 1080p panel, which is again 2 millisecond response time. So they're TN panels, and they're really good for low response or low refresh rate or whatever you want to call it, response time, and they do the trick for me. I am in the market for a third one though, just because.
It kind of seems weird to me that a 760 would need a 6-pin and an 8-pin.
I don't think it needs it. Do I have them both plugged in?
Yeah. Otherwise you wouldn't have video right now. Because most video cards will not even come up unless all their power.
Oh yeah, and I even have a picture of it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Showing both connectors.
Yeah. I would think that would be a dual 6-pin. Yeah,
I can't speak on that. I'm not that knowledgeable on the graphics cards and why it needs the power it does. Maybe that's something to do with the ACX cooler. I'm not sure.
No, which one is it?
The EVGA GTX 760 superclock.
Superclocked.
Yeah.
So maybe it's because it's superclocked.
My 660 superclocked had 2 6-pins, which I thought was kind of ridiculous.
Unnecessary.
Well, yeah. Mine's even. That's Atomic's point. Is mine's even more ridiculous because instead of 2 6-pins, it's a 6-pin and an 8-pin.
Yeah. Well, they just do that.
What do those extra 2 pins do?
Power.
Because reasons? What?
Yes.
Well, I think well, it's still 12 volts no matter what.
6-pin.
Right?
6-pin has the 75 watt draw limit, and 8-pin has 150 watt draw limit.
Yeah, so the superclock is meant. The reason it has the extra pins as opposed to the regular ones is because they guarantee it's stable, so they overshoot, and it gives you extra room to overclock. So they overshoot it, so they know it's stable.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is it's not an insane overclock out of the box, but EVGA is known for good overclocks.
Yeah, I mean, my card, right now it's sitting at 27C. Obviously, I'm not doing much. I'm not even watching the streams. That's on another computer. But if I click on max performance within the NVIDIA control panel, I forget what it maxes out to. I think I have it listed in my build over there on the right side. For GPU effective clock rate, 1.29 gigahertz. That's the core clock rate, excuse me. Then effective memory clock is 6, I don't know, whatever. So yeah, it's got some decent overclocking by default, whatever. And then as far as that's it. That's my build. So,
Cool.
oh yeah, no, I almost forgot the controller. That has to get thrown in there. This is an Afterglow Xbox 360 controller
Because you're still a console peasant at
because
heart.
I'm still right, right. Because I still enjoy controller gaming on certain games.
Most games.
Like a good example is I like
Every
playing
first
Borderlands.
every first person shooter ever.
No, I play TF2 with the keyboard and mouse now.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I was owning too. I was with Osiris. I think it was just Osiris and I. I don't remember. It was a few other viewers maybe, or I'm not sure. But it was during the break. I think I was just owning kids. I was just poning and owning. It was so much fun, man. I was just the keyboard and mouse is just the control you have over the aiming is just ridiculous on how accurate it is. So, I mean, I definitely see the advantage of mouse versus, analog stick, just in the accuracy alone, for sure. So, all right. Well, that covers all three of our computer builds. And I I didn't even mention, but I do have a Corsair CM 750 in the mail, as well as a Kingston 128 gigabit SSD in the mail as well. Because for my Arch system, I need to transfer over my Arch system from this tiny 32 gig SSD to this 128 gig SSD. And you're probably wondering right now, wait, there's a 32 gig SSD? No, there's not, but it is
Not anymore.
there is, well, I don't even know if there ever was. What mine is, it's an OCZ 64 gig caching drive. So if you look up the product, it's like a OCZ Synapse 64 gig caching drive. And what OCZ claims is that if you want it to work properly, or I don't really know. I can't say the exact reason on why they're only allowing me to write 32 gigs worth of data. It's something to do with redundancy, but it's not real. It's not real redundancy or not a real copy. So I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to explain, I guess, to talk about it verbally, because all it says on their website is it's a 64 gig hard drive for caching. But if you don't use it with their Windows only caching software, you're only visibly allowed to write to 32 gig worth of storage. And it has something to do with the leaving that other 32 gig untouched for moving blocks. I guess it's before the controller, before the NAND controller was smart enough to handle
Probably built in the firmware.
Block moving and stuff. Yes, it was. I believe it is built into the firmware.
Only to work with the hard drives. So you'd have to like reflash that firmware or some shit like that.
Wait, so that you're saying so that I could get all 64 gig?
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I just didn't even look into trying to get all 64 because I figured when I installed Arch, it was just to test it out. I didn't think I was going to completely switch operating systems, and I ended up switching for a while. I'm back in Ubuntu for a little bit until I get my Arch system moved to my other hard drive. But anyway, so that's my system, and that was quite a longer than I thought it would cover. So let's get on to the topics, guys, because this next one is a huge one.
Steam machines.
Finally, Steam machines will be front and center at GDC 2015.
Again.
Huh?
Again,
right? Yeah, throw that in there. So GDC is the Game Developers Conference, and it's being held in March. And according to a Valve representative who told Game Informer that, well, and that's, by the way, Valve skipped the CES. They didn't even go to CES, the Consumer Electronics Show that was recently in Vegas. but their Steam machines will be front and center at the Game Developers Conference in March. One thing that they do say is that the term Steam machine is pretty much dead. And now that was said by an Origin PC top executive. Whoever the hell that guy is, I don't care. But it says Origin PC's top executive told GameSpot last week that the term Steam machine no longer means much of anything. He says, I think that's kind of pretty much dead. Wow, that's executive talk.
Well,
that's a
PC
quote.
Is also the company that banned AMD from their builds, also because they didn't stand up to snuff to their build quality. So they're pretty hardcore about their hardware, and that's
sure
why they're the best boutique builders, also. But that's his opinion.
Yeah.
That just means you're not going to get Steam machines from Origin. I wouldn't buy one from Origin anyways.
Right. Yeah. I don't think I would either. But apparently, the Steam controller design was recently finalized. And all of this information is according to a Steam PC CEO, Kevin Wazlewski. But, besides the Steam machines being represented in front and center from Valve at 2015 GDC, they're also going to be talking about Steam OS, and the Steam controller. So this, is something that has been ongoing since 2014, January of 2014. The Steam boxes were all the talk, and Steam machines. And then it was like, okay, where are they? What the fuck happened here? The important date, as far as I'm concerned, came and went, which was the date that the Xbox One and PS4 launched. I would have thought Valve would have been smart enough that their marketing team would have told the engineering team, hey, we really want to get this released so that it's side by side, or even a month ahead before Xbox One and PS4 release. You guys need to get your tails, moving and get this done. But for whatever reason, they didn't launch Steam boxes or Steam machines. But we should get some great information in March, just based on what occurs at the Game Developers Conference. That would be kind of cool if one of us could go, like as a media representative. I know we're not really media per se in the
Steam machine has lots of large hurdles to jump over, for it to be, I guess, I don't even know what, so I guess the initial question would be, what does Valve consider it successful? In their measurement of success. They sell 500,000 or 10 million or 100 million.
I think when it becomes a full percentage point of the Steam user base, active Steam user base, right, I would call that a success.
I mean, because unlike Microsoft and Sony, they have nothing in this. They don't have any of their butts in this gamble, because unlike Microsoft and Sony, they're not paying for the machines. When Sony and Microsoft launch a new machine, they're actually paying a subsidized price for each one of those machines being built. So they lose a little bit of money for each piece of hardware to sell a lot more software. Steam is not doing that. Which makes this...
Yeah, they give away their games for free.
Well, yeah. It makes their skin in the game a lot less, and makes it so if this tanks, they don't lose anything, which is a smart business decision. But from the other side of the fence, you gotta wonder, how how much are they into this? Because that's what's going around the internet right now. Are they really into this? Because the
Is
whole reason
Valve really into Steam boxes?
because the whole
Or
reason for them to get Gabe started this adventure was because he did not like the direction Windows was going towards the Mac OS X type of walled garden.
UI and all that? Yeah, yeah.
Well, not the UI, the business model and the selling stuff from stores was his problem.
Oh, yeah.
So
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Isn't this the same guy that runs Steam, though?
what's that?
I say, isn't this the same guy that runs Steam, and he doesn't like Windows being sold in a store? A specific store? Microsoft
Right.
specific?
Well, if you sell it in a Microsoft store, you have to pay Microsoft taxes.
Yeah.
That's his problem. He doesn't want to be part of that. No, to his credit, well, first of all, Gabe Newell worked at Microsoft, and to his credit, he's not an open source guy per se, but he is one of those types of guy. He's a very liberal software type of guy. Uh, so I don't know. Like I said, Steam Machine's got huge hurdles to cross. There's a lot of variables and what ifs and whatevers, and I hope they succeed. I mean, because competition is always good. The more competition, the better for everybody. I'm just, I just want to see them on the shelf and see what happens. 'Cause I don't know. I don't know what the selling point is for this. Why does the 16-year-old tell his mom that he needs to buy one of these things?
Right.
That's what it boils down to. Convincing
Yep.
kids and
Yeah.
early 20-year-olds to buy these because that's what the target market's going to be.
That logo, though.
I think
The logo's going to sell it.
Yes.
you know what I almost think is that it's too late for any more gaming consoles to make it to the family room. Only because if you think about what they're being used for the casual gamer, sure, game consoles are a thing in the family room for the whole family to play. But if you're any more than just a casual gamer, I guarantee you have a dedicated room or area that you have your device that
Well,
you game on.
I would say there's always more room because Nintendo is already working on their next thing, which means that it's gonna like supersede the Xbox 2s, I guess, and the PlayStation 5, because they have a so-called life expectancy of 10 years or so they say. So a new Nintendo will be coming within the next couple of years. There's room if the consumers want it, but I don't see why the consumers want it. That's my problem. What is the niche or market or what's the selling point? Why does anybody want this? Real computer people will build their own because it's cheaper and it's not hard.
Right.
Non-computer people play consoles. So like they're serving a market that doesn't seem to exist basically.
Right.
So who knows where the things have happened?
What if it's Valve and Gaben's secret goal to slowly like phase Microsoft Windows out of the equation?
Well, first of all, I doubt Valve can do that. Second, you know what I just thought about? When Valve launched Steam, nobody liked that either. Nobody
Nope,
bought
they
into
didn't.
it.
Yep.
And
They were like, "What's this crap?"
I
Yeah.
want my Half-Life on like regular stuff.
Yeah.
What's up with
Right.
this? Like logging to some server and authenticate type crap.
Right, right.
Maybe Valve has the long-term plan.
They do. I think they always have the long view,
But I
the
can tell you,
10,000-foot view.
as far as 2015, there is no apparent market for a
Yeah.
Linux-based. That's as much as we love Linux. That shortens the game list considerably. So as compared to the Xbox One, the PlayStation, and the PC, the game list is severely limited.
Yeah.
That's what sells consoles, games. So
That's true. Yeah.
Hopefully they got a plan. Like they're gonna
I th-
launch Half-Life 3.
Right.
Gotta sell it.
You just confirmed it. I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Yes, he did email me.
Yeah.
Tell me that.
Yeah.
Oh, you got that email too?
Yeah, right. Oh, you must be on the mailing list.
Yeah. Gaben. We love Gaben, the mailing list. Hey, I wanted to ask everybody that's in the live stream right now if you could go drop an Ubu Deuce on the I Am Apropos live stream.
But don't literally shit on him.
Right. Don't literally. Yeah, it's just an Ubu Deuce. You just drop in there and do hashtag Ubu Deuce and then come on back. That's all I'm asking because Paul is a supporter of the show. Um, you know, he supports us. He helps me. He helps the show. He does. He's promoted Osiris. I know I've seen Osiris. I've seen him say go and stop over in Osiris's channel before to his viewers. So it's basically fellow content creators and fellow live streamers working together to try to if you're here watching this and you're interested in gaming and you're interested in Linux specifically, it's not going to hurt to just go and stop into Paul's stream. And he's probably playing, I'm not sure what he's playing right now, but he plays all sorts of different games, everything from like Garden Warfare on PC. It's like a first person shooter but you're plants and stuff. And then he plays Advanced Warfare. I don't even know anymore what the hell the latest COD game is.
Warfare.
But Battlefield. He plays all sorts of different games. So he's a Windows gamer, but that doesn't really matter to us because we're first and foremost we're about gaming. And there's already last night actually is a perfect example. Osiris was live streaming and a viewer asked if he could join him in Borderlands the pre-sequel, and Osiris is like, sure, hop on. And that person just so happened to be running Windows. It doesn't matter if you're on Windows, you're on Linux. The point is that we're trying to create a little community of gamers that enjoy talking about gaming, and it just so happens that us three really like Linux. So we enjoy playing games on Linux. So there was that little PSA. All right, so that pretty much covers that topic, and we kind of beat that dead horse quite a bit.
Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah. All right, this next one is actually quite hilarious. I looked into it a little bit. I don't know do you want to cover it, Atomic, or?
I don't know too much about this because I had not heard of C4 prior to this article.
I linked this. So the developer of C4 engine says Linux is inferior, and that's why he's not porting his game, or his game engine rather, because he's not a developer of a game per se. He's the game engine developer to Linux. The reason I put this here was mostly because this is the type of stigma or myth that Linux has, that everything's just hard, because when you see stuff running Linux, it's usually a server, kiosk, a terminal, or some nerd like programming with 10 screens, and that's what people think of when they think of Linux. I watched a excellent, I need to find the link. I will find the link and put it in the show notes, which you can get to on linuxtechandgaming.com later. But Icarus.
Icarus, he's a good guy.
He's done over 60 Linux ports.
Yeah,
and
that's
he did
huge.
An excellent talk on how easy it truly is to port games.
Oh, that's right. You linked me to that video, and I think I watched it pretty much all the way through. It's a really good video. Yep.
Right.
All the little nuances of thinking multi-platform from the beginning when you start developing a game, all that kind of stuff, right? Didn't he touch on that, or was he specifically? I forget if he was specifically geared towards Linux game development, like right off the bat, or if he was even getting the folks to think about multi-platform game development.
I don't know which one you've seen. I've seen
several
now.
Right. Okay.
Since that time, but yeah. So of course, there's hurdles to cross whenever you do something that's not intended. Like if you develop a game on Windows and then decide later that it's going to be a Linux game, yes, there's hurdles. But it's not what this guy here from C4. Like this guy I've seen I wish I had saved the tweet. He said something about he tried to install Ubuntu, and it wouldn't install. Like,
Oh, it's right. It's right. Scroll down, Atomic. Scroll down a little bit on the article, and you can see.
no, at this point, it looks like he got it installed.
Uh,
I remember there was a tweet that he couldn't even get it installed. And
oh,
this guy's no dummy. He makes game engine. He made a game engine, so he obviously
right,
has a
right.
certain level of intelligence, and he can't. I mean, even if you've never heard of Linux, if I give you a CD or a thumb drive with on it, and you're
Yeah.
technically literate, you should be able to get it on your machine some kind of way.
Right. Atomic and I almost thought that he had AMD hardware.
I'm certain he
I mean,
does.
Yeah, because like he's saying that his whole Ubuntu system froze before it even got to, the login manager, which is Light DM, and that just like that kind of leads to what I was talking about earlier, is about stuff could be a hardware issue. Maybe there's a bad memory module or a bad RAM stick, and that's actually what the author of this article said in his. If Atomic scrolled down a little more, you could see the comments from Liam, which is I think Liam is one of the author of this article. I could be wrong, but it's on gamingonlinux.com.
My point is that he has a certain level of intelligence to be a
technical level. Right, right.
Even if he knows nothing about hardware, because I know lots of programmers that don't know the CPU from the graphics card. That's fine, but that means he should still be a rational person. Blaming Linux because you can't get it on there is stupid as me blaming Windows because I can't log into my Google account. Like, it just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. This was a good article to kind of just point out the stigma or the stereotype or the common probably game developer that is just not familiar enough with Linux to talk about it. Anyway, some of his tweets are pretty funny, like remove 2008 lines of code, of the Linux code. So apparently this game engine did at one time work on Linux.
It was being ported. I don't know if it was any real working state.
Right. All right. Well, that's all we wanted to cover on the C4 engine. They've supposedly dropped Linux support, so we should all throw down our controller and keyboard and mouse and stop gaming, because this guy is not going to develop his engine for Linux.
Rage quit.
So game over. GG.
That was another point. This guy doesn't like the game running his engine. Nobody even cares about. So he's doing himself the service.
Right.
By acting like an ass on Twitter.
Yes.
Because he can't get Linux installed. Nobody even asked you to make a game for Linux. So you can keep it moving, dude.
Right? That's so
keep
funny.
It moving.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I did look at his documentation. It seems like he documented the game engine pretty well. And there's, ways to create terrain and ways to create characters and 3D models and all that. I mean, which probably comes along with every game engine, but like you just stated, this guy is kind of acting like that he's got the Frostbite engine. Yeah, I was just gonna say, that he's got the engine that's running Call of Duty, and he's giving up Linux support because Linux sucks. Like, no, dude, none of your games, we don't care about any of your games. So, all right, bye. So. Next topic, whatever. Next topic is an interesting one, because it's been it's in relation to a lot of things that have been going on lately in the gaming scene, and that has to do with the virtual reality headset. So Razer apparently has had enough, and they didn't feel the Oculus Rift and the other virtual reality headsets were doing what they should be doing. So Razer says, fine, we're going to release our own open source virtual reality headset at CES. I didn't post the article, so I don't want to continue. Who covered this? Who did the research on this one, guys?
I posted it. There's really not much to say about it yet, except for it's compatible with everything. Because it's using, I think, what is it? It's using Oculus DK2. And Game Face and well, it's using those APIs. So basically, what Oculus works with, uh, this will work with right out the box, and it's open source, which means
Yep, the community
that
can help contribute and make it better.
well, well for me, the dev kit is easier to work with. So when
Okay,
when the developer says, "Man, I can't get this thing to work that I want to work," well, he can go fix it himself and do what he wants. I think in this type of device, that's probably more important. As far as the open source and the open source community, they'll probably do everything else with it but play games because
that's what
that's
they
what
do.
that's what
Yeah,
nerds do.
that's what. You're right. Make shit
Like
happen,
I've
like
seen
cool
some
shit.
like
Right.
ridiculous stuff with the Xbox. What is that thing called? The Connect.
The
That
Connect. Yeah, I did
I've seen
too.
I've seen a hospital using it. Uh,
Nice for like scanning shit. Yeah.
It's
well,
kind
to
of
do operations.
it's kind of a weird resolution, 1080 by 1920.
Yeah, I saw that. I
Are
don't know
you
what to
gonna are
make of
you
that.
gonna wear it like this?
It seems, yeah. I don't understand that, but it also makes a specific point to note that it has a 100-degree field of view. Now, I don't know if that's the same FOV as in a game or that's just like a literal, like physical 100 degrees. I'm guessing it's a physical 100 degrees.
That that's only 100 pixels per degree.
Bruh, I don't know.
I don't know if that's enough PPI.
I
I
don't,
I don't know. I don't know either. But what are? Unfortunately, I didn't see any of the top tech YouTubers cover this Razer
Not did I.
virtual reality thing, and I'm almost kind of concerned just based on Razer's current product offering being kind of more on the cheap side, plasticky. I don't know. Do they have like more higher grade type products that aren't
Razer, Razer
plastic?
Razer does make some very good products, but the crap to good is not very good ratio. Like
Oh, sure.
everybody knows about the Death Adder, and then they have the high end keyboard that gets very good remarks. And I haven't heard too many people complain about the quality or the lifespan of those ones. But then
Yeah.
as you get into the lower end, to the middle end, the lower
Oh,
end,
yeah. It's just super. Yeah.
there's tons of people complaining about, yeah, it just broke like out of the blue right outside the warranty period.
Yeah, that's never
or
good.
or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe they can make this like, even if it is cheap and plasticky compared to the Oculus, which is, say, let's just say it's a higher quality. There could be a market for this. Let's just say that this is the knockoff of the Oculus, in the fact that if you're playing TF2, the Oculus is outside your price range, but you just want to still use a VR headset, and this is half the price, we'll say. Uh, then
Right.
uh,
Yep.
then this is an alternative, I guess, for those kind of people. And it shouldn't be too much. It shouldn't be too hard to get this thing working on a number of situations and games because, like I said, it's open source. It supports all the standards, framework standards for gaming. So it should just work on most games out the box.
Yep.
Now TF2 has Oculus Rift support.
Yes.
I wonder if the Linux version could run on this.
It specifically says it supports Linux, so I would assume so. I think you just plug it. I think you literally just plug it in. Tell TF2 to go to Oculus mode, which there's an actual field in the options for that, and this will work out the box.
Huh.
I would be tempted
Cool.
to spend $200 on it. Is that
And
what
that's
it
what I'm
says?
saying. It comes in at a price point that's very
Affordable.
enticing.
Yeah. I tried that Gone Away or Away. What's that one game that's based on Unity and you wake up like drunk at some house party and you're in a
Gone Home?
stranger's house?
Gone home. Well, it's not
Gone Home. Is
Okay.
No, I don't know if it is. I'm not
you-
sure.
You completely missed the mark on what that story's about.
Okay.
This
By
girl
the way,
girl returns home from a European trip to find her sister gone.
Okay. I was just merely stating the beginning of the game. I wasn't saying that was the premise of the game. But my point is when I played that game, I almost got sick I got a headache, and visually I think I was getting dizzy. I'm not sure if that had to do with the game, or I guess my point is this whole virtual reality thing could be a sensory overload almost.
Well, the reason you would get that weird feeling, like motion sickness feeling, is for usually because of the field of view. Now, that's what they're supposed to be addressing in the Oculus. I mean, that's one of the earlier things that they were trying to address, and I'm assuming that this is addresses it too by making the field of view as wide as it is. Because when not only is it the field of view, what's the other thing, Atomic? Well, I think we talked about this before. That makes you specifically motion sick. It's not the actual movement. It's the perceived vision that you have of it. But anyhow,
if you say so, yeah.
They're supposed to address this type of stuff. Now, some people are just really acceptable, like to motion sickness. Like I've never had motion sickness in my life, and I've been on planes, obviously cars and boats, and I've never had any kind of motion sickness. Maybe and then some people get motion sickness by walking down the street.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, that'll be interesting to see what happens when that, gets into the hands of the consumer in the masses, because I remember the first time I bought my Turtle Beach X31 headset, and I put them on and I went into a Call of Duty multiplayer game, and I just I couldn't believe what was going into my brain or into my eardrums, and I was like, it was like sensory overload for me. Like I started getting dizzy and like this uneasy feeling, like it just was like my sensory was just being overloaded, basically, whatever.
Oh, by the way, I know Will like this. Gearbox supports and backs this device.
Oh, shit.
And Gearbox supports Linux.
Yep.
So,
yep.
There you go.
Gearbox are the ones that did what? Which games?
Borderlands.
That's what I thought. Okay, yeah. Well, all right. That was our last topic for this week. January 14th, 2015. Don't forget, we do have our Steam group. It is Linux Tech and Gaming on Steam. We are just auto-accepting, applications, or I wouldn't even call it an application. You just simply say join group, and then you're able to view all the other friends that are also in that group, so that if you wanted to connect to one of us, you could do it through that channel, possibly. I don't know about your guys, your friends list, but mine still has open slots on it. I am accepting friends, but I will make this disclaimer right away. Don't be messaging me every hour on the hour and asking me to play games with you. If my Steam status says looking to game or looking for whatever that pull down is, then sure, send me a message and say, hey, you do want a game? Are you free? And I'll most likely reply to you and say, sure, that'd be cool. But if you're going to get on my friends list and then just abuse that and just constantly message me about shit that's not related to gaming and just to bug me, then I'll just simply block you and remove you. So that's not what I want to do. And I'm sure that's not your intention either, or goal. So just be respectful, I guess, is what I'm saying. I mean, it's kind of common courtesy. You don't spam somebody even though you're on their friends list. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Apparently, well, go ahead, Osiris.
What are we talking about?
I'm talking the very end.
Yeah, no. Just when we do our outro, I'm changing my contact info. It's just a note.
Oh, okay,
This
gotcha.
makes it easier, and I don't have to remember anything but this.
Right. I know. I love that player me. Yep. Since that was told to me, or since I learned about player.me, I don't so much use it to post stuff, but I give it out to people because it's a quick area to where they can learn every single aspect of Ubuntu Addicted in one location. It's really cool. So As always, guys, our contact information can be found in the description below of this YouTube video, or if you're on Hitbox or on Twitch, just please go to our website, which is linuxtechandgaming.com, and then I think it's /about. And you can learn about each one of us. You can, get our social media for whether that's for YouTube or for Twitter, or if you have a Facebook, if we have a Facebook, personally, if we have a Google Plus page or profile. So there are certainly many, many ways to get a hold of us. And I myself am still taking questions or feedback. We're always open to feedback, guys. So if you notice something on the show and it's bugging you, or it's a glaring issue or whatever, please don't ever hesitate to let us know in the chat. Or if it's something that's really serious or whatever, or private, then message me privately and let me know. This is a two-way thing here, guys. This isn't just us talking to you and you having to just listen and not interact with us. The point of the stream and the podcast, we do want to interact with everyone. We do want you to feel involved as much as we can, so when we might even be considering possibly in the future, some way of getting people into the Mumble server and actually being on the show. We have a lot of things that are going on in the background, ideas that we're kicking around for different segments or different ideas or different series for various things and reasons. And I know that was super specific, so don't let that hurt your head thinking about that. But, that's it. I'm just rambling at this point. So that wraps up episode 20 of the Linux Tech and Gaming Show. I look forward to seeing everybody on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. The Linux Tech and Gaming crew will be together playing some game. And if we have an open slot, we're probably more than likely welcoming you to play with us as well. If any of our viewers are here that are on UbuCraft, I might be jumping on UbuCraft tonight if you wanted a game with me for a little bit. I said. So that's maybe a thing. And that's about all I got from me. It's your turn, guys. Go ahead. Say what you want to say. If anything.
Things and stuff.
Okay.
Stuff and things.
All right.
No. Let me just say that player.me/Osiris. That way you can see all the things that you need to see. I don't need to remember no more URLs, and life is freaking good.
Osiris is all about simplicity. Simple.
Yes.
Yep.
Life should be simple.
Yes,
Happy
it should.
and simple.
Right. All right.
So there you go.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate all of your support and coming to the live stream, coming to the podcast, and supporting us. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah. See y'all later.